Hello everybody, I'm back today with a new project and layout featuring these beautiful sequins from Spiegelmom Scraps and the October Kiwi Lane Club Kit, as well as those triangle templates I just showed you. So Kiwi Lane and Spiegelmom Scraps collaborated on both the October kit and then designed sequins to match. I'm so excited to share this first project with you. I'm just showing you all the different kit contents, all the beautiful colors, and then we have that gorgeous, gorgeous sequin mix that coordinates perfectly with it. So I'm going to show you today how you can take a Kiwi Lane template and create a shaker with it. I'm going to be working with the triangle set today, but any of the simple shaped template collections from Kiwi Lane will work the same way. So things like the triangles, the rings, the photo mat sets, and the border sets would all work really, really well to create shakers. I'm going to use the triangles today, but I'm going to use the scalloped border set on another layout coming up this month, so you can look out for that as well. So Kiwi Lane templates are these kind of heavy plastic shapes, and basically you're just going to flip your paper over and you're going to start by tracing the your solid triangle with your pencil, and then I'm going to cut them out. I'm using triangle template number 3, and I cut 3 triangles using the outside template, and now I'm going to cut 3 triangles that will make this frame. So I'm tracing the outside of the triangle, the inside of the triangle, and then I'm going to go ahead and use just a craft knife to give myself a little bit of open space in the middle of this triangle. You could also pop out the whole triangle using a craft knife. This particular template is one of the absolute easiest to cut. It is all straight lines. So you could use scissors, or you could do what I just did and use a craft knife. I used the craft knife to cut the inside of my triangles, but I used my scissors for the outside. Spiegelmom Scraps has a gorgeous sparkle shaker kit that would be perfect to make shakers with. But if you are in a pinch, or if you're watching this, you have a subscription, you have these templates, and you're like, I want to make this now. You have some sequins. I'm going to actually use the packaging from my triangle templates and use them as my shaker window. This is just a really easy way to reuse and not have to throw away packaging. Just be mindful, my Kiwi Lane packaging did have a hole in it, so I kind of had to work around the hole, but it worked great just the same. I added some tear tape from Spiegelmom Scraps shop. I adhered the top piece of my shaker onto the packaging, and then I'm just going to trim around that triangle. Now that I have my shaker window, it is time to add our foam. I am using the original Big Mama foam tape from Spiegelmom Scraps. So this is a little bit of a thinner tape. It doesn't have as much loft as the Big Mama foam tape 2, and I think that that will work perfectly for a shaker on a scrapbook page, which is what we're going to design today. I placed the foam right up against the inside triangle. I did that because I want my sequins to stay where the window is. If I had done the foam tape around the outside edge of the triangle, I would end up with sequins that would hide, and I don't want my sequins to hide. I want them to be on display. So I filled up the shaker, and I made the shaker so that it's not too full. You want to make sure those sequins have room to move around, they have room to shake, and you don't need a ton of sequins. In fact, I did this whole layout, and I only used maybe a half to 3/4 of my package of sequins. Next, I'm adding a little bit of wet glue. This is going to give me some wiggle room so I can get that triangle really nicely centered and on top of the rest of the shaker. So everything lines up really well. Because this triangle is all hand cut, no matter how you do it, you're going to end up and need to trim just a smidge in some respect, and you saw me do that just with my scissors. Now I'm going to ink up the edges with this beautiful Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink, and there we go. Our shaker is done. Now that we have our shaker done, let's put together a layout using this kit. My layout today is going to feature 3 photos, and I chose this pretty orangey red tone-on-tone pattern paper from the kit to map my photos with. Next, I'm going to go ahead and trace and cut a whole bunch of triangles. So for this, I am using the Triangle Template 2, and I'm using the inside of Triangle Template 3. I'm also using the small triangle template, so that's the solid one, that's number 1. And I am going to be tracing and cutting triangles from lots and lots of different pattern papers included in the kit. I'm also going to ink all of the edges of these pattern papers with the Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink. I've also grabbed this 4x4 card from the kit. I'm actually going to fussy cut that whole section out, and that's going to act as my title for this layout. Once I have cut and inked up all of these different elements, I'm going to go ahead and get my design together on my layout. I do want a little bit of this green color, so I'm just going to cut a 1/2 inch strip. I almost always cut up most of my Kiwi Lane papers. I usually start by choosing 1 or 2 papers that I want to use as backgrounds, and then the rest I'm going to cut up, or I also use a lot of white cardstock as my backgrounds. So I don't mind that I'm cutting into these large pieces of paper. I actually find smaller sizes of paper much more inspiring and easier for me to use. So my idea is to stagger these triangle shakers and have each triangle shaker pointing to one of my photos. You'll notice I'm not adding a lot of adhesive to the back of the shakers because I want to layer up and add some more triangles underneath. But I want to get the spacing on my photos right, and I want to get the spacing on the shakers right. So by adding just a little bit of adhesive to the middle, I will be able to tuck and adhere the other triangles down, and then I can come back in with either some wet grip glue or my tape runner to get the shaker triangles adhered down real nice. Next, I'm taking all of the triangles and adhering them down to create this kind of triangle border that is pointing at my 3 photos. To balance my layout, I'm going to take that 1/2 inch strip that I had cut, and I am going to take this, which is actually just a scrap piece from when I was cutting the triangles, and I'm going to use it as a landing spot for my title, which will go right here in the center. I happen to be a doodler, so I am going to take my favorite black pen and my favorite white gel ink pen, and I'm going to outline not only these sections here on the right side of my page, I'm also going to outline all of the triangles on the left side of my page. I don't want the sequins that are in the shakers to be the only sequins on my layout. It is, to me, I love to have a nice, consistent elements across my entire page, which is why I'm going to outline all the triangles and why I'm going to now add like some more sequins. So we have sequins in the shaker. We also have sequins on both sides of our pages, and everything is even and balanced. On the left side, I've outlined all of those triangles. You can see how much they pop with just that added little bit of pen work. And now I'm taking my white gel pen. I am outlining the darker triangles. I'm also going to outline the inside triangles of the shakers. And then I'm going to add a row of 3 sequins to each of the triangles. To adhere my sequins down, the adhesive I recommend the most is Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. And I like to use a crystal katana to get my sequins into the perfect spot. But really, any kind of jewel picker will be useful for this. I love how this layout turned out. It was so much fun. I love to add all of these beautiful details to my layout. I think that they add the perfect finishing touch. You can find all of the links you'll need to create this layout in my description box down below, including some discount codes that you can use to save a little bit off of an order either at Spiegelmom Scraps. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone, and I will see you again soon. Bye.